Miss Melanie here. Today we're going to be talking all about families, and I have a special guest with me. Behind all this fuzz is Katura Capadonia from STLS. She's the outreach consultant. And we're going to be talking about families, and with families, we need to talk about
the census.
So we're going to talk about the census, and then Katura is going to answer some questions about how we count in the census.
Yes.
Some children have lots of siblings. All of these siblings.
Oh, it's a lot.
It's a lot of siblings. Some children have one or have none, have no siblings.
That's cool.
Some children have two dads.
Dads are good.
Some have one mom.
Moms are good.
Some children live with their grandparents.
Oh.
And some live with an aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Some children have many pets.
Ooh.
And some just have a plant. Miss Melanie loves plants. I don't do very well at keeping them alive. Some children live with their father. Some children have two mothers. Some children are adopted. Some have stepsisters and brothers. Some children bunk with their cousins. Some have a mom and a pop. Some children's parents are married. Some children's parents are not married. So no matter if you have a ma, a pa, a hog, this llama, 10 frogs and a slug, a cousin named Doug, a great-grandma Betty and a great-aunt Sue, Uncles Hal, Al, and Sal, and Uncle Lou, too, 1 stepsis, 3 step bros, 2 step moms, and a prize-winning Rose, a robot butler to serve you tea, the world's greatest grandpa, or whatever it might be. If you love each other, then you're a family. So, Katura, who counts in the census? Let's see who counts.
Yes.
Do all your siblings count in the census?
All of your siblings, whether you have one or none or 6 or 7.
Even new babies.
Brand new babies. As soon as they're born. Even if they're still in the hospital, they count because they're going to come home and live with you and your family in your house.
What about if I live with 2 dads? Do both my dads count?
Yes, both dads count. Absolutely.
What if I just live with my mom?
Mom counts and you count.
What if I live with my grandparents?
Your grandparents count, and they would count you if that's where you live most of the time.
What about my pets? Do my pets count?
No, I wish they did. I would count my cat because I love him, but pets don't count. Only people count.
Only people. Who else counts on the census? If I'm adopted, do I count?
You sure do. You count just like anybody else.
Do I count if my parents are married?
Yes.
Do I count if my parents are not married?
Absolutely.
Do I count if I live with my grandparents?
Yes, you do.
Do I count if I live with my aunts and uncles and my mom and dad?
Yes, you all count. If you all live together, you count as one household. And you include everybody, so we know how many people live there.
So why is it so important that we count in the census?
Wow. It is really important because a lot of federal funding is determined by census numbers. So money for your schools, money for your hospitals, money to fix your roads, all of those funds come out of census data. So if we don't count you and your family, we might not get your school enough money to help you and your brothers and sisters get enough books and resources to learn. So we need to get everybody counted. It also is important for political representation. So we need an accurate count of how many people live in Alfred so that we have the appropriate number of elected officials at the state and federal level.
And so it's really important for new babies to be counted, because if they're not counted in this census, when do they get counted again?
In 2030.
2030?
Oh, I can't even imagine where 10 years we have to wait. So the first 10 years of the baby's life, they would not be counted. So it's very important. Children are the most undercounted population in the census. So count those kids. If you live with a mom sometimes and a dad sometimes, or grandma and grandpa in the summer and mom in the winter, you need to get counted. So talk to your adult, and wherever you spend the most of your time, 50% or more of your time, is where you get counted. And if you have a question, just ask them to count you both. So even if you get double counted, it's better than not getting counted.
The census people
They will fix that.
They'll fix it.
Yes.
Can you think of anything else you want to tell us about the census?
Oh my gosh. Can you guess how many people there were in America when they took the 2010 census? What do you think, Miss Melanie?
Oh,
It's 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
One.
Two. I don't even know if I can count that high.
There were 300 million people.
300 million people.
Yeah. And who knows how many we'll have this year.
Yeah. And so far we know that our response rate right now is a little bit low.
It's a little low. We need to get it up. So we need to ask all our friends and family, our babysitters, teachers, librarians, neighbors, if they have taken the census. And just let them know that it's out there and you need to do it, because we need to get our communities counted in full so that we can give more money to this great library to buy more books.
And so Miss Melanie has taken the census. If you get a curbside pickup at the library, you will get a bookmark reminding you to take the census, and you will get a pin reminding you to take the census. So please remember to do that.
You can go, or your adult can go to my2020census.org.
Hi, Miss Melanie here, and today we are going to be doing some family tree art. And so today I brought my craft cart with me, because you can do this craft any way you want. There are tons of possibilities. And so I thought we would start with just some white paper. But you can do this really any way you want to. There are so many possibilities. So I'm going to show you a couple of different examples. But please make it your own. Every family is different. We read a book earlier about the different kinds of families and how every family looks different. My family doesn't look like your family, so your art is going to be yours. And so I am going to start off by making a tree. This is family tree art, and so I want to look like a tree. And so I'm going to just use markers for this. So I have the trunk of my tree. I just did a trunk like this. And I'm going to do just my immediate family. So
the people who live in my house, the people who are going to count on my census. And so I'm going to do my husband who lives with me. That's Mr. Mike. And Miss Melanie. And we have, I'm going to make some more branches here. We have 2 daughters. And so that might be all our family tree looks like right now. And we might want to add to this by adding some, we have some different colored pens here, and we can make it really look like a tree, fill it in a little bit. And I'm going to give it some heart-shaped apples. And so that's my family tree art. You can also go more in depth. You can trace your ancestors. You can go back even further. For this, you might want to start with a pencil. And so you'll start with you and your siblings. So there's me, Miss Melanie, and then I have a brother, and I have a sister. And our parents are Mom and Dad. And you can give them their first names. You don't have to call them Mom and Dad if you don't. They were Timothy and Rita. And Rita's mom and dad were Robert and Joyce. And so you might have, so these are your grandparents. So you might know your grandparents or you might not. So you might have to ask your mom or dad for help. You might have to ask for help. My dad's mom and dad, I didn't know. But I know that their names were Francis and Ruth. Then it gets a little tricky. My great-grandparents. Let's see if I remember. Do I remember? My grandma Joyce, her parents were Claude and Martha. And my grandpa Bob was Helen was his mom, And his dad's name was Orville. And my grandma Ruthie was Lillian, and I can't remember. And my grandpa Frank, his dad was Hamilton, and his mom was Clara. So those are my great grandparents. And you can go like that. Now my dad had some siblings. I have some aunts and uncles here. My mom did not have any siblings. So you can work back like this. And you can make it artistic. You can add some colors. You can do different colors for boys and girls. You can do different colors for the different sides of your family, your mom's side, your dad's side. You can make this as big as you want. You can go back for as long as your family knows as far back. I don't know if I could go back any further than this by memory. But you can keep going if you want and make beautiful. You can just keep going and going and going if you can. And it's okay if you can't get very far. If you can't go past your grandparents, that's okay too. And you'll see how it keeps branching out. And that's how it's a family tree. And that one's sort of a simpler design. If you want to do something similar to this, but make it a little more artistic, we can start with you. Let's start with you. And then, of course, there's your mom and your dad. And maybe you can give it like a fancy, you can make it a leaf for your family tree. So we'll put you guys in leaves. There are really so many ways. There's no one way to make art out of your family tree. Another way you could do this, if you have the people in your household right with you, you can either take, you can do markers and color on their thumb like this, and then do a thumbprint. And then, so this is my thumbprint, and then I'll do my mom's thumbprint and dad's thumbprint. That's one way you can do it. You can do it in different colors. You can keep going here. Sometimes we have like, we might call our grandma Mimi, or our grandpa Pop or something. You can add their names like that. Let's see if I do have it red. So you can make it look like different fall colored leaves. You can add thumbprints in there if you have the people near your household, in your household. If you have a simple tree like this, you might be able to add their thumbprints. There's really a lot of ways you can do this. So here I just have me, mom, dad, grandma, grandpas, nicknames for moms or grandmas and grandpas, and make it look like fall leaves. You can make it look like, or any color leaves you want for your family tree. You really have a lot of options. You can do it on colored paper. You can do it any way you want. You can cut these. You can do these on colored paper and cut them out. There are so many options. Make it colorful, make it fun, make it unique. It's to represent your family and however your family looks. I hope you enjoyed family tree art and learning about the different kinds of families and how your family will count in the 2020 census. You can go to the 2020census.gov to learn more about taking part in the census. Bye.